Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the prop replica of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis by Trick or Treat Studios. Necronomicon Ex Mortis, roughly translated, the Book of the Dead. I am a massive Evil Dead 2 fan, so I was super stoked when Trick or Treat Studios announced they were making this replica. Now that I have it in hand, I can say that I like it, but I do have some nitpicks. So let's pick these nits. The sculpt is pretty solid, but the paint scheme on it is really simplistic. It's pretty much just two tones, brown and black, and I would expect for the price point of about like 90 to 100 bucks for there to be a little more detail to this. For example, the mouth area, you could see that it should be like all black, but there's like this big section in the middle that's still left brown, and I would expect the quality control to be a little bit sharper than that for this item. Speaking of quality control, there are lots of things right out of the box. There's a lot of little nicks and scrapes on the paint job that are not wear and tear from me playing with it. It's just scraped right out of the box. You can see right here in the corner there, and even just right along the edge of the book itself, there's a lot of weathering, it's already starting to get scraped and flaky and dried out. There's a big scratch right here on the back of the book. I'm really disappointed with some of the scrapes and little nicks on this. Again, for the price point, I would expect it to be in better condition right out of the box. Same thing with this eye here. I looked at photos online. There is more to this sculpt. There's a little more, it matches the surface more, that you could tell flaked off before it was painted, and now it's been painted over. But there's a little chunk of this sculpt that's missing here, so that's a bit disappointing. I will say, though, the sculpt of the book itself is really well done as far as conveying the leathery, gross, dried out surface of dried human flesh. I think the sculpt on this is really solid. Inside the book there are 18 pages of artwork, so let's take a look at those now. I'm actually really happy with how these pages turned out. I think the artwork on them is really, really well produced and just gnarly looking. But also the way the pages are made to look sort of worn and weathered. Obviously the edges of the pages are all shredded, but the main surface of them is actually really fresh and clean feeling, but they're printed on sort of a yellowish paper, which kind of just gives it the look of something that's kind of worn down. Hey, Evil Ed, that's fun. So yeah, the worn downness effect I think is pretty good. So yeah, the fact that they included 18 pages for fanboys to goob out on if you're an Evil Dead fan. Because it's one thing to have a replica of the book and just to hold the book in your hand. That's fine. But the fact that you can open it up and look at all the gnarly stuff inside, that's really cool. I think there's one more page here. Yeah. And then there's a little credits page at the very end. Right there. If you're an Evil Dead 2 fan, you may have noticed that this is not 100% accurate. For example, in the movie, this initial first page has writing on it. This artwork is not sourced from the original prop. It is not scanned from the original film source. It has been replicated by artist Sam First. And I gotta say, I think Sam First has done a very good job of recreating artwork that looks like what we see in the movie. Now, I do want to point out one other little nitpick, and that is the corners of the book, where the skin folds over and creates the little inner corner. That looks pretty good. But over here, this one's got quite a bit exposed, and I just feel like for the price point, I wish these little folded sections were handled a little better, as good as that initial first corner, and not with this exposed glue sticking out right here. It is worth noting that with 18 pages inside, it comes off more as a binder of the dead than a book of the dead. But I do like this. I think my problem is that my introduction to Trick or Treat Studios was their Chucky doll, which was amazing. If you've seen my review of it, then you saw that I lost my mind over it. So that set a really high bar for me with Trick or Treat Studios. And that was one of their more high-end collectibles. It was 500 bucks. But they make high-end and low-end stuff. I have one of their Happy Death Day masks. It's $20, and you know what? It's a good $20 mask. So at both ends of the spectrum, I think they make quality stuff. Their $500 stuff is worth it. Their $20 stuff is worth it. My problem here is that 90 I'm not totally seeing the $90 value here. But I do like it. Like, I can't deny that just seeing this right on the tabletop, I love it. Holding it in hand and flipping through the pages is fun, but just like chilling on as like a display piece, I think it's a great sculpt. I'm really happy that I have it. I just wish that, like, if they'd been a little bit stronger in the quality control department with all like the scuffs and flaking and scrapes, and if the paint had been just a little bit tighter, this really could have been a winner, and I really would have seen the $90 value, because the sculpt is there. The quality of the artwork inside is there. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want, you could follow me on social media. I'll put up the links in a moment, but if you want to subscribe to me here and be up to date with my latest reviews, that'd be groovy.